Good morning. I just want to say go Giants, huh?
Yeah!
So good morning, everyone. Welcome to the San Francisco Wholesale Produce Market and the dedication of the first LEED Gold Certified Produce Distribution Center in California. I'm Larry Bruscia, President of the Market's Board of Directors. On behalf of my colleagues, the staff, and our partners, which are the Market's merchants, and especially the merchants, because they get up at midnight at 2 o'clock in the morning to start their business. So right now, it's late day for them, so thank you for being here. For more than 125 years, we've been a vibrant part of the city's world-renowned culinary history. San Francisco's restaurants, hotels, grocers, large and small, have relied on the produce market for fruits and vegetables, some provided by merchants with a century-long history here on the market. Since 1963, when the market moved here from the original home on the Embarcadero, we continued offering an efficient route for produce to go from farm to fork, ensuring Bay Area residents and visitors would have ready access to culinary delights here in the area. Today, with the opening of this building and the 4 new warehouses planned for coming years, our role in the industry and the community are assured for at least another half-century. I'd like to thank the city's Department of Real Estate and the Mayor's Office of Economic and Workforce Development for making this day possible, as well as the San Francisco Community Investment Fund and Bank of America for the financial backing to bring this project to completion. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my great pleasure to introduce the 43rd Mayor of San Francisco, Mayor Ed Lee.
All right, you know I'm going to say go Giants also.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't think of a better theme here, but the success of collaboration. You know, some time ago, when I was city administrator, I was down here, and Sophie Maxwell had led the effort to really try to educate all of us about our infrastructure in the city. And then when I became mayor a few years ago, another supervisor of this district, of course your current supervisor, Malia Cohen, also continued that education and introduced me to a lot of her friends down here and also the producers here. Well, I gotta say that for a great city like San Francisco, and personally for me, I used to, when I was growing up, I used to work on farms. So up in Seattle, they actually did have farms. And I picked berries, corn, and beans. And that was my summer job. And I actually had lots of fun. I would ride in the back of a truck and throw grapes out the back and see which cars I can hit going the opposite way. So that's how we grew up. But former Supervisor Maxwell and your current Supervisor Malia Cohen have been wonderful leaders, not only for this district, but for this very center of production. This is part of a valuable center for the entire city of San Francisco, if not the region. This is where the greatest, most prestigious, now there are 3 Michelin star restaurants within the county of San Francisco that I just found out about. They're all getting their produce. From Chinatown to the Mission to all the great restaurants here. Your tech companies, cafeterias for their workers, get their fresh produce right from here. And our greatest stores, our grocery stores, our organic stores are getting their storage and their distribution right here. These jobs and what this facility represents is something that I think in many other cities, if you don't pay attention to it, as I know that was the purpose of former Supervisor Maxwell's story and now Supervisor Malia Cohen's, if you don't pay attention to your light industry, you're going to pay for it very dearly in the future. And we're paying for it in a very nice way because we're getting a great benefit out of it. after all the phases, Larry, when this is done, which might take 20 years, but we'll hurry it up. We'll take our time to make sure everything is done right. Not only will you get a LEED Gold produce center as we are looking at now, which is the only one that I know of in the entire country. This is starting a new trend. But you're also making sure that all of our restaurants, all of our food distributions, all of our grocery stores have this wonderful center for all the farmers to come at whatever ungodly hours that they have to make it here to distribute it here. And by the way, if you're ever hungry at 2 or 3 a.m., you can come down here for a good meal. That's what Supervisor Cohen will try to get me down here for some chicken or something in the morning. But I also want to say this. These are great paying jobs down here. In fact, at the end, when we do complete the additional phases, over 1,000 full paying jobs, ongoing full-time jobs, will be right here at the center. And we have done what I think the supervisors want us to do as a city. We have reinvested in it, not necessarily with general funds. We're using the monies that they create out of their own economic center here and reinvest it in this place. And then if we're smart about it, and I think the supervisors and the mayor's office have been very smart in getting the San Francisco Community Investment Fund involved and gotten some extra dollars through different programs, we can make things like this happen. Because over time, as Larry said, this has now been 130 years in existence, that you need this renewal of these centers. You need modern refrigeration. You need more space for the distribution. The trucks are getting larger. Places where this happen. Phase 2 will be about the roads around here, that we will commit to making sure are smoother roads and safe access for people. Phases 3 and 4, Michael Janis, will be about the sheds, right? And we got to pay attention to sheds. Well, all of this works as an entire system. What I all learned from the very first day that I became mayor, but I actually learned it when I was city administrator as well. Don't ever forget your farms. Don't ever forget where your food comes from, because that's how we start thinking organically, how more healthy we are. Supervisors and I were earlier talking about making sure that our schools learn. We should have kids come down to this site to learn where their food comes from and how it's gotten here and how it's distributed, how it has to be kept fresh. All of this is part of light industry in San Francisco. It is part of what we call PDR, production, distribution, and repair. Space that arguably can disappear if we don't pay attention to light industry. And we are paying attention. Not only are we going to preserve, we're going to build more PDR, light industry space. We're going to utilize the economic strength of our city. Michael, you're hearing this from me. It's another pledge, but it's one that we always will be happy to come back to this center and say it started here, but more light industry spaces. Guess what? The thing that people love the most about San Francisco, more and more, especially when we win World Series, we're in the Super Bowl, when we're hosting America's Cup, where we're doing all these wonderful conventions like Dreamforce and Open World, is what is made in San Francisco that we can access and purchase. Because we know that with the talent in San Francisco, you're going to get something fresh. You're going to get something real, original, originally made and designed, very local. So Made in San Francisco is a huge marketing play that is famous around the world. And even the people here in this community, the people working at the Southeast Community Center, working in the Bayview, they know we have a world brand, and we can sell it, and we can sell it very well and create more and more jobs. Made in San Francisco, local manufacturing, light industry, not only is back, not only is it popular, it is essential for cities to pay attention to, because more and more our visitors from Europe, from South America, from the Far East are all asking, I'm tired of buying these famous brands. You know, I want something that is original, that is unique, and that's what Made in San Francisco is all about. And we're going to get all of our communities involved, because every community in San Francisco can participate in these wonderful jobs. This is where we are going. What used to be what we call our blue-collar jobs, it is now light industries job, is making beer and wine and flowers and produce. It's also making accessories for the new talent and the new technology that's coming out. It is all these wonderful things. It's ceramics. It's the things that we're going to sell worldwide. And they begin with commitments that are made right here in the city, recognizing where things come from, how people use their hands and their art and their talent. We get back to making things, and these are good paying jobs. So I want to say, Larry, congratulations to the entire produce market. You have a pledge that we're going to increase space. We're going to use a space even better. Underutilized space that may be empty warehouses, we're going to utilize those spaces and bring more jobs that are good paying jobs to all of our communities. And again, I want to thank Supervisor Malia Cohen for her wonderful leadership here. I want to thank the designers, Hathaway Dinwiddie, good company. They did this gold standard. I want to thank them as well. And you know, all of the communities down here have to be thanked, because they have not only taught us this, they have protected it, they have preached this. Now the citywide family has to recognize the necessity of having these centers. Thank you very much, everybody. Let's keep going. Let's keep creating a wonderful city.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for your continuing support. Thank you very much.
Good job. Just picture you throwing grapes from behind a truck.
I'd also like to, at this time, to recognize those who have had hands-on responsibility for bringing this building out of the ground. The team from Jackson Lyles Architecture, and as the mayor mentioned, our general contractor, Hathaway Dinwiddie, and the 150 construction workers that were here employed at the site, and actually 2 of our own. I'd like to recognize Monica Melchizian, who was our project manager for the market. And I'd also am very happy and very thankful to be able to also thank our former president of the board of directors, John Monfordini. As I mentioned earlier, we've enjoyed tremendous support from the mayor's office in the past few years. We've also been backed by the board of supervisors, including former supervisor Sophie Maxwell, who's with us today. Where are you, Sophie? Thank you. One of our strongest champions in City Hall is Supervisor Malia Cohen. And I'd like to, right now, have you join me in welcoming her to the podium.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I got to tell you, in the mayor's remarks, I just had this weird vision of him holding grapes in the back of a truck, throwing them out. I don't know. A young Edwin Lee. I bet he was very mischievous. He wasn't as polished as the man that we see today. But hello, good morning. Are you guys excited? Oh my goodness. I want to just take a moment to really acknowledge all the people that have come together to make this vision a reality. And there are people that don't always get a shout out. I see we've got commissioners from the Southeast Commission, from the Southeast facility. Thank you for being here. I also want to recognize the Southeast Food Access, SIFA, Food Guardians. I see a couple of representatives in the back of the crowd. Thank you very much for being here. This organization definitely deserve an applause, because what they are doing is they've gone to, well, there's no secret, we kind of live in a food desert and outside of the produce market, a little further south in the Bayview community, and what the SIFA folks are doing is they are doing a food audit of the liquor stores and converting liquor stores into small little bastions of greenery where healthy food is sold. And I just want to acknowledge and lift up that work, because that is exactly the kind of leadership and direction that we need to continue to move in. Lord knows we've got enough liquor stores, right? So now we're just taking those lemons and turning them into lemonade. So I want to acknowledge that work. Thank you. And everyone else that's deserves a very big thank you. Larry, for your leadership on the board, and the board members, appreciate you. But Michael Janis has been an incredible friend and ally from day one. For me personally, but also professionally, this man has been a cheerleader 24/7 for this project, but also the overall project of bringing healthy food options into the southeastern part of San Francisco. And all of the businesses that are here today and the workers that work within the produce market, I want to say thank you for staying late. We need you, but I want to make sure you guys get a good night's rest because we're going to need you tomorrow too, and the day after that, particularly for hanging out after your shift. The San Francisco Wholesale Produce Market is a tremendous asset. I don't think anyone needs to be told that. Not only in the southeastern neighborhood of where we are today, but the entire city. The entire city, this little produce market is producing for the entire city and the Northern California region. Now, while many San Franciscans don't know about our little secret right here, it's been a top priority of mine to ensure that the expansion is completed and local businesses have a place where they can grow and continue to be successful here in the city. Now, right now, many businesses in San Francisco are feeling the pressure of rising rent and increasing competition for space with other developers. Just look at the Flower Mart in Soma. But that's not the approach that we took here in our neighborhood. Both Mayor Lee and myself, we recognize the incredible value of a place like this for San Francisco. And when the produce market said they needed to grow and stay in the Bayview community, we found a way to make it work. Thank you to the leadership of the Mayor's Office of Economic and Workforce Development that dug deep and pulled resources to make sure that this happened. And it's important that this produce market stay in the Bayview community, excuse me, because they have made an incredible investment in San Francisco, and this is our way of saying we are investing in the produce market. I want to thank Mollie Stones for expanding here in District 10. Yay, Mollie Stones, thank you so much. Thank you for deepening your roots in our southeastern part of the city. I hope now that we can convince you to open up a grocery store somewhere in the vicinity. Thank you, Supervisor Maxwell, for that resounding applause. We need a grocery store on this side of the town. Small businesses that call this place home are absolutely integral to the economic fabric of our city. It's a misnomer that San Francisco is the only focus on the tech industry. That is not true. Processing and growing PDR has been a top priority, not only for myself and my administration, but also Supervisor Maxwell and I was going to call you President Lee. I'm sorry. And Mayor Lee, largely due to the reasons that he expounded upon earlier, is that this is an industry that is protecting and growing blue-collar workers. PDR space hires people that don't have traditional college educations. And not only do they hire them, but they employ local San Franciscans. Do we have any San Franciscans that are working that are here today? Yes, they're all working. That's why you didn't hear them. I see one or two in the back. But this is an industry that we need to continue to support, and it's going in the right direction. It's no secret that we're experiencing an affordability crisis right now, but that crisis isn't just about housing. In order for people to stay and raise their families in the city, we need to ensure that we have diversity in our neighborhoods, and that this is what makes San Francisco so unique. We need to look at the affordability crisis from multiple lenses that ensure that residents have access to a diverse range of job opportunities, and a place to start and grow a small business is absolutely critical to the health and vitality of our city. So I want to say thank you to everyone. Let's get this place open. I'm fired up. I hope you guys are excited. Let me hear some excitement. Come on, everybody. Because we are transforming San Francisco. Thank you very much for being here. It's great to see you. Back to you, Larry.
All right. Well, thank you, Supervisor Cohen.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure, Larry.
We're delighted to announce today that the first occupant of this beautiful new facility, and you've already heard, will be Mollie Stone, a Bay Area treasure for more than 25 years and a market tenant for more than a decade. With us this morning is Steve Stamos, Chief Operating Officer for Mollie Stone. Steve?
Thank you, Larry. Mr. Mayor, Supervisors Cohen and Maxwell, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our founder, Mike Stone, and our entire Mollie Stone's family, welcome to our new facility in the San Francisco Produce Market. We outgrew our current space here in the market several years ago, so we've been looking forward to this day for a very long time. Mollie Stone's has offered the finest quality and selection of produce to our customers for over 25 years. We're able to accomplish this in our 9 locations because we're here in this market, close to merchants who bring the finest, freshest produce into San Francisco each and every day. In this state-of-the-art facility, we'll expand our capabilities to process, produce, and distribute the quality foods that help make the Bay Area such a desirable place to live. This market and this facility are very important pieces of our infrastructure and will be the platform that will help further our company's expansion. Mayor Lee, I hope you'll be able to be available for ribbon-cutting ceremonies when Mollie Stone's opens some new stores in San Francisco.
Right.
San Francisco is our number one priority for growth, yes. Number one priority for growth is San Francisco. So thank you very much. Go Giants.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, so Mayor, Supervisor,
Yes.
I'd like you to come over here, please. And we have this big red button here, and we're going to have them press down on it, which will open up the doors of the door here of the well, it's opening up now. So go ahead and press it.
Okay, here we go.
Go Giants!
There it is.
All right.
Terrific.
Mayor, Supervisor, we're going to follow the we'll let the. Go ahead. Yeah. We don't want to go in front of that.